Hello, everyone. Hello. I think we will start. Shall we? We start? Hello, everyone. Excuse the noise. It's been like this, so I think when we speak, we have to speak a little bit louder. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and warm welcome to all our esteemed guests. Today marks a significant milestone for IRENA on this strategic and committed partnership with the government of UAE as we formally launch the Empowering Lives and Livelihoods initiative, Renewables for Climate Action. Since the curtain raiser event on the sidelines of the IRENA General Assembly in January 2023, we have been working hard towards raising the profile of the initiative to a wide range of stakeholders, gaining support and new partnerships, many of whom of you are present here, and we warmly welcome you, and we're really, really happy to see everyone in a packed house. We know that clean energy is vital in all sectors if we are to reach net zero targets and realize a just energy transition. That is why this intersectoral nexus initiative of renewables with agri-food and with renewables and health is highly pertinent today. For today's launch, after a welcoming remarks and keynote speech, we will have a short scene-setting presentation followed by interventions from highly esteemed and honorable ministers and partner agencies, and that will be moderated by Mr. Harish Hande from Selco Foundation, who is our key technical partner. And now, without further ado, I call upon the Director General of IRENA, Mr. Francesco La Camera, to provide welcoming remarks.
Buongiorno, and welcome to the Renewable House for the Energy Transition. So, Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. A year ago, at COP27, IRENA, in collaboration with partners, started a conversation on cross-sectoral partnership to break down silos and mobilize essential capital for renewable energy infrastructure. The aim was clear: improving health outcome, strengthening agri-food chain, enhancing food security, and tackling climate goals. And it's so evident that concerning food security, the agricultural sector is crucial. It alone consumes an estimated 30% of the total global energy use and contributes to almost 30% of global greenhouse emissions. And this is why, a year ago, we have reached a milestone as we launch today the Empowering Livelihoods and Lives and Livelihood Renewable for Action initiative, with the support of the government of the United Arab Emirates. With this initiative, we expand our vision of renewable transforming agri-food and health sector value chains and providing much-needed climate resilience and adaptation. Importantly, we are also aligned with the COP28 action agenda and the pillars focusing on delivering outcome on nature, food and agriculture, and health. So it is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to this important gathering today. IRENA has always emphasized the importance of a just and inclusive energy transition, which lies at the heart of the Empowering Lives and Livelihoods initiative. Specifically, we are directing our focus on maximizing the social benefits for women and youth who are most impacted by climate change. Taking an holistic approach, IRENA is already at various stages of engagement in 13 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, Southeast a small island development state, the SIDS, assessing the contribution of renewables to the agri-food and health sector. This engagement, coupled with our analytics, already forms a strong foundation to provide solutions tailored to countries' needs and unique circumstances. So, Excellencies and esteemed delegates, a third of the food worldwide is produced by small landholding farmers, and their resilience to the negative impact of climate change will be critical in continuing to feed the global population. Similarly, almost 1 billion people are affected by poor health services due to the lack or the unreliable power supplies. This is not an acceptable scenario when we have the tools and the means to change it. IRENA has consistently stressed the energy transition is systemic and need to be addressed as such. We have outlined 3 main pillars crucial for the structural transformation of the energy system. These include the infrastructure, the policy and regulation, and the institutional and human capacity. Our success will be measured by our ability to scale up our efforts and unlock the necessary financial resources. So, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it is time to take stock, and this time of a rapidly evolving energy landscape, provide clean and reliable energy solution to power the sector of agriculture and health, to empower those millions of people who are underserved and most vulnerable. I call upon you to join us in these collaborative efforts so that at COP29 we have a solid foundation built and result to showcase. We look forward to a successful launch today and to building meaningful partnership going forward. Thanks a lot. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Director General Francesco La Camera. And now I welcome Her Excellency, Dr. Nawal Al-Hosni, Assistant Undersecretary, Ministry of Climate Change and Environment of the UAE, and the Permanent Representative of IRENA, of UAE to IRENA, to also provide your welcome remarks. Dr. Al-Hosni.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency Francesco, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start on behalf of the UAE government to welcome you to the UAE, to COP28, and I hope everybody is having a very, very, very good time. Interesting, useful, but also managing some time to enjoy what the country can offer for all of us. I am extremely delighted to welcome you to this very important launch of the Empowering Lives and Livelihood initiative. This COP28 initiative that has been spearheaded by IRENA in collaboration with the UAE has been always very important to us. So let me start by this. Now, and I believe it is time to throw our full weight behind the people and the communities on the forefront of climate change. This is a great momentum behind this cause at this year's UNFCCC climate talks here in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai. Already at this conference, historic progress has been made. On the first day of COP28, the world united on a landmark agreement to operationalize the Loss and Damage Fund to help the world's poorest and most vulnerable countries pay for the irreversible impact of climate disasters after years of back and forth on this topic. And I believe we are already more than $500 million in that fund. The UAE President, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, also announced the 30 billion Ultra Fund to bridge climate finance gap. That is followed by the UAE's commitment of $200 million towards the IMF Resilience and Sustainability Trust in support of climate resilience in low-income countries. And then the declaration of leaders on a global climate finance framework set out a roadmap for the future of climate finance to assist climate frontline communities in the fight against climate change. The focus on people, lives, and livelihood at this COP is not just a key message, it is clear and necessary intent backed up by real action. Now, we must seize this milestone opportunity and accelerate this momentum by connecting sectors which has been historically overlooked in the global climate discussions, both in terms of mitigation and adaptation. Ladies and gentlemen, just a few weeks ago, a report from the Food and Agriculture Organization highlighting how important food systems are to building global resource resilience. And this is precisely what the Empowering Lives and Livelihood initiative aims to do. It puts sectors such as health and agri-food at the center of the climate dialogue with practical solutions. The transformation of our food systems is more important than ever. In 2022, agriculture and related land use emissions continue to increase, reaching 17% of the total global emissions. And this figure does not take into account the full value chain. When we consider the full value chain, including food production, transport, processing, retailing, loss, and waste, agriculture accounts for around 1/3 of global GHG emissions. We need to decarbonize the system at a pace and scale while creating economic opportunities for those who are integral to its growth and success. Unfortunately, very little progress has been achieved at this front in the last 5 years. GHG emissions from agriculture show virtually no movement towards the 2030 goal of reaching the reduction target of 5.70 GT CO2 equivalent by the end of the decade. Further, little progress has been made in mobilizing of finance for the agriculture sector, which only 4.3% of the total global climate finance reaching this sector at the project level. Though Friday's announcement that the global community agreed to mobilize more than $2.5 billion to support the food climate agenda marks a move in the right direction. Looking at the health sector, the situation doesn't look much better. About 1 billion people around the world still do not have access to a healthcare facility with a stable electricity connection, including 433 million people in low-income countries who rely on facilities with no electricity at all. Access to electricity is fundamental to the provision of health service, from lights to illuminate a midwives to guide childbirth to enabling nurses and clinics to correctly diagnose and respond to emergencies. The good news is that solutions are available in principle. However, access to those solutions remains elusive for many, whether through a lack of access to finance, knowledge, skilled labor, or no access to suppliers to install PV plants on their roofs. The barriers to entry persist. Sometimes it requires a simple fix, such as a solar-powered water pump for farmers or a solar PV roofing for community hospitals. But even these are not available for the hardest hit communities. This is a flaw in the existing system, which favors the financing of larger-scale utility systems in established markets and not small-scale setups in emerging economies. The Empowering Lives and Livelihood initiatives has been designed to overhaul this scenario by mobilizing finance, connecting relevant entities and philanthropists to combine our efforts to ensure that we leave no one behind. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I would like to thank IRENA for leading this breakthrough initiative and bringing hope to people and communities which are most in need for urgent help to reduce emissions and enhance access to an affordable and reliable source of energy. By working together through initiatives like Empowering Lives and Livelihood, we can put people at the center of the energy transition and ensure our future is a place where humanity can thrive and prosper. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Nawal Al-Hosni, for your kind words. And now, on behalf of the President of Sierra Leone, I would like to invite Honorable Dr. Kande Kole Yomkela, who is the Chairman of the Presidential Office for Climate Change, Renewable Energy, Food Security, Sierra Leone, to provide a keynote address.
Your Excellencies, before I read the President's keynote address, let me thank the DG of IRENA and United Arab Emirates for bringing us together in New York to start discussions on this initiative. I had the unique privilege of moderating those sessions, and I'm very pleased today that I'm here on behalf of the President, and I don't have to give my views, but I rather present his keynote address. He could not be here because of pressing issues at home, but it's an honor for me to deliver the keynote address on behalf of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio, the Republic of Sierra Leone. Mr. Francesco La Camera, Director General of IRENA, Her Excellency Madam Mariam bint Mohammed El Maheri, Minister of Climate Change and Environment, United Arab Emirates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to join you today at the launch of the Lives and Livelihoods initiative in COP28 in Dubai. The Lives and Livelihoods initiative is one that is of great importance to me personally and my government because of the conditions we have in our country. Connecting people and lives and livelihoods through renewable energy solutions in the agri-food and health value chains is of great importance to Africa as a whole. Reports have indicated that more than 1 billion people are served by health facilities where there is no reliable electricity. Another 12 to 15% of facilities in South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa run without access to electricity. Let's take a moment to think about what this means for families and communities. Think about what it means for a healthcare provider to work in darkness, deliver babies in darkness. That happens in some of our countries. Picture a medical doctor starting a surgery and then has to finish off by using the light on his mobile phone to stitch up the patient. The scenes I have described are scenes that we see happening today. Do we just look at them and move on? Or do we come together to solve the issues that confront us given the least cost technologies that are available today? This is why the IRENA initiative, Powering Lives and Livelihoods, come at the right moment at this COP28. In the context of Sierra Leone, we have 1,600 medical facilities now, which will be about 2,000 by 2030. Currently, less than 30% have electricity. In fact, less than 20% have reliable, affordable electricity. Our ambition is to power all of them. We want to express deep gratitude to Selco Foundation, Sustainable Energy for All, the UNOPS, the British FCDO, for working with us now, introducing renewable energy solutions into many of this. The World Bank has also announced powering another 200. But guess what? We still have over 1,000 we have to do by 2030. This is why we stand together with IRENA and the United Arab Emirates to mobilize resources for African countries that are similar to ours to power their health facilities. But there's another bigger issue. My government has made food security the priority for the next 5 years. We want to feed ourselves. We want to eat what we produce. To achieve this, we want to establish an additional 200 mini-grids. We have 100 mini-grids now. We want to establish 200 mini-grids by 2030, which means we will triple the renewables energy capacity in our country. The good news is we want all of these solutions embedded within food production areas, linking renewable energy with productive uses. Each country has its own ecosystem. Tailoring this initiative to meet those unique conditions will be important. We are very pleased that IRENA sent a team already to Sierra Leone in October to do their needs assessment, and we're poised and ready to work with this initiative to provide these solutions for health centers and, of course, for our food systems. Also, we see the opportunity here for other partners to join, to follow this leadership, so that we use this platform to save lives and improve livelihoods. My government supports this multi-stakeholder partnership to support countries like Sierra Leone to channel financial resources and technical resources for programmatic support and for innovative solutions that benefit our people. Solutions such as decentralized renewable energy show great promise today in bringing to closing the energy access gap with cost-effective technologies. The Lives and Livelihoods initiative must move, and we are ready that in 2024 we will start activities soon. Finally, I wish to thank IRENA again and the UAE for supporting this initiative, and IRENA in particular for sending a team to Sierra Leone already for the needs assessment. We look forward to working closely with IRENA and partners and championing efforts for the Powering Lives and Livelihoods initiative. I thank you very much.
Our sincere gratitude, Honorable Dr. Kande Yubkela, for the President's message to us. Welcome, Your Excellencies. We will now have a short scene presentation of the Empowering Lives and Livelihoods initiative by Mr. Gurbuz Gunol, who is leading the Empowering Lives and Livelihoods initiative and is the director of the Country Engagement and Partnership Division of IRENA.
Thank you very much, Kavita. It's really a great pleasure to provide some insights into the initiative. And with this starting slide, I don't think I need to highlight the importance of agri-food and health sectors. But I think the recent pandemic and the geopolitical crisis, they have been reminders for us how fragile the health security, global health security and global food security are, and how big the size of the problem is. That's why we have taken the challenge and developed this initiative, specifically focusing on the solutions that will enable the high quality health services, as well as how we can provide necessary required energy into the agri-food value chains. Next slide, please. So this topic is not new to IRENA. We have been working on energy access and productive use since early days of IRENA. Obviously, we have more recently moved from working on those simple electrification solutions to how we can use more productive use of energy, how we can use energy to power economic activities, how we can use energy to support delivery of essential social and public services. And this is how we have worked on that, and in close partnership with expert institutions in that field. IRENA is an energy organization. We are neither an agriculture organization nor a health organization, but we work with FAO, we work with WHO, we work with Selco Foundation, we work with various knowledge institutions and collaborate with them in a harmonized manner to be able to act in that space. We have undertaken a series of analysis jointly with those expert institutions to have a better understanding of the picture and then build on that in developing in this initiative. Next slide, please. So With this initiative, our ambition is to how we can achieve a catalytic systemic energy transformation of agri-food and health sector. Because the action is already happening on the ground, but rather fragmented and not at the required scale. That's why how we can bring scale to the sector to achieve a transformative impact rather than activities here and there and far from achieving that transformative impact. And obviously there's very clear connections with the adaptation action as well as the mitigation action because we are bringing more renewables into the system. But our objective is also how we can bring productivity, efficiency, and resilience into those sectors with these activities. Next slide, please. So our ambition is to implement or employ a programmatic approach at country level. What we are trying to do is develop those country programs that we have engaged with several countries. I'll come to that point. But with the three main components of country programs. One is the technical solution, how we can develop those sustainable and efficient solutions based on renewable energy technologies across the value chain, and how we can develop those technical solutions for each country for both health and agriculture space, depending on the focus of the program in that particular country. But to be able to implement those technical solutions, we have to develop financial solutions that are affordable and to be able to provide improved services and productivity to the sector. This has to be complemented with an ecosystem sustainability because unless we achieve a sustainable implementation of those initiatives, those programs, it will never last long. Therefore, we want to focus on the supply value chain, service chains, supply around those initiatives. How we can work with entrepreneurs, with youth, to be able to develop a product. How we can work with the local financing to develop capacity. So a comprehensive capacity building program at the country level, tailored to each country's needs, will be developed for each country program. And one additional topic, which is the adaptation matrix, is an area where there is no universal approach. So each institution, they have their own metrics around adaptation. And we have taken this challenge together with more than 20 institutions globally, including World Bank, African Development Bank, RMI, those institutions active in the adaptation space, how we can come together, develop those metrics to be able to correctly measure the impact of our activities on adaptation. Next slide, please. So we are at the country level implementation, our implementation is in 3 phases. The first phase is more a preparatory phase where we engage with the country and try to scope the program in that particular country, engage with the country, both with the governments but also entire ecosystem in that particular space. Try to have the full ownership of the program by the government, but also creating those necessary structures in the form of working groups, national dialogue platforms to bring together right stakeholders from government and non-governmental organizations, private sector, academia, to be able to have a common understanding of the needs and how we can work together, because that part is extremely important to be able to move forward with the program implementation. Once we have this, also the initial scoping, then we move on to the next phase, which is the actual development of the program, with these 3 components that I have already highlighted, with technical solution, financial solution, and ecosystem capacity building. Then the implementation phase comes in, with the program implementation in phases with different projects, and in the meantime, capacity building program was also implemented with several knowledge products if needed, but also we are developing a monitoring and evaluation framework and to implement it to see, to supervise and see the impact of the programs in each country. Next slide, please. So we have already engaged with 13 countries together with Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is the 14th country we have engaged with. Several of them in Sub-Saharan Africa. We have countries in South Asia, and islands in Caribbean, Caribbean seas, Pacific seas, as well as in the ACE region. At the different stages of implementation. We are still at the early phase of first phase one implementation, at several stages of implementation. We have had some preliminary outcome coming out, especially our health analysis in few countries like Burkina Faso and Sao Tome and Principe. We are ready to move to second phase. And the other countries, we are hoping that early next year we will be able to move into the program development phase very soon. Next slide. And obviously this takes a lot of efforts from our side, also from our partner side. We are present on the ground, working with different stakeholders and ecosystem players to be able to first full understanding of the needs, but also then the correct scoping of the program in the country. Next slide, please. And we have come a long way. I think they already highlighted the first discussions took place during COP27, but we have done, we had the curtain raiser together with the government of United Arab Emirates at our assembly earlier this year. But since then, there will be the work has progressed in two fronts, in two parallel tracks. On the one side, we were engaging with the governments, with the countries at the country level for program development, but also we have been working with different stakeholders, with financial institutions, philanthropies, technical institutions, local institutions on the ground, to be able to develop both those technical and developing partnerships to be able to develop those technical and financial solutions in each country. And so far, it is still an early phase of implementation of the program. We are just launching it today. We have a lot to do starting from tomorrow. Obviously, we will continue with our country assessments and program development, ecosystem building, but we immediately would like to start, once we have the clear outcomes started coming up, we want to, how we can also start sharing the knowledge generated through these programs, not within the IRENA constituency, but also working with the broader spectrum of partners we have, how we can disseminate the knowledge, because this is essential to scale up, for scaling up this program. Resource mobilization and developing right partnerships and alliances is very central. We are already working on it, and we are looking forward to have more concrete outcomes and results coming out in early next year around those area too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Konul. I now call upon Mr. Harish Hande, who is CEO of Selco Foundation India, and who has been closely working with us to moderate the rest of the interventions until the close of the launch. The floor is yours, Mr. Hande.
Thank you, Kavita, for this, and it's an honor to be here with all the ministers and guests for a very important topic. Knowing IRENA from day one, I think it's going to be the most important initiative for the world, which is very, very critical for us when more than 2.5–3 billion people have to look at lives and livelihoods. We have spoken about it, but this is the time for action. Though my day job is something else, but let me start off by telling that now I'm going to wear the moderator's hat. So I have 3 apologies to make to everybody. My Indian accent, so if I not pronounce a name correctly, please have apologies. The second one, I have to be the bad guy here, unfortunately. If you have 30 seconds left, I will do this. And if you're over time, I'm going to cut it out from the next guy who's going to speak, next person. So when you go and sit back, you'll have to answer to the person coming next to you why his time was short, right? So I'm just to say that it's such an important topic. We need to hear the voices of everybody. But before that, it's my honor to invite Her Excellency Ms. Mariam Al Mehri, the Minister of Climate Change and Environment for UAE, to come and speak, ma'am. Thank you so much.
A wonderful good afternoon, everyone. It is afternoon because I've been running around. I already made my 10,000 steps. I don't know about you guys. So, you know, we promised the world this is going to be a very sustainable COP. We've got food, water, coffee, but also the walking in between, I think, does us all really good. Francesco, thank you so much. Your Excellencies, thank you so much for joining us here. I'm honored to be with you and here in this esteemed panel, and really to mark another milestone moment for the COP28 presidency. And I congratulate all our partners who have been working tirelessly and with extraordinary conviction to launch this initiative, the Empowering Lives and Livelihoods Renewables for Climate Action Initiatives. Really, it's spearheaded by the International Renewable Energy Agency and supported by the UAE, and of course with all the partners, stands at the intersection of two of the core pillars of the COP28 agenda, which is to accelerate the just energy transition and also focus on people, nature, lives and livelihoods. So across these diverse achievements we have already marked here, you can see this amazing integration of putting people and the planet at the heart of the climate action narrative and delivering tangible solutions, because we know that action builds trust. And so we have witnessed several transformations, and I know many of you have seen the news, the Global Decarbonization Accelerator, the 119 countries that have signed the Global Renewables and Energy Efficiency Pledge, agreeing to triple worldwide installed renewable energy generation and also doubling the global energy efficiency. Also the UAE Hydrogen Declaration of Intent, 27 countries are on board with that. The Industrial Transition Accelerator, the list goes on. Something I'm very proud of is, of course, the COP28 UAE Food Systems Declaration. I thank all our partners. 134 countries endorsed this declaration. This is a milestone in history for the food systems transformation. And these 134 nations, they cover 5.7 billion people, they cover 500 million farmers, they cover 76% of greenhouse gas emissions from the food systems sector. So this is a huge political will building. And of course, all the unlocking of finance that we've been seeing are just great. Also on the health side, never before was a health day set at a COP. We had the health day yesterday, also a declaration with 120 countries on board. You see, the list goes on, which is fantastic. And I don't want to take your time because I know Timekeeper is going to be taking the time, so I don't want to steal your time, but I just want to say thank you for being with us. Thank you for the momentum. Let's unite, act, and deliver, and this is what this COP is about. So thank you so much.
Her Excellency, I know you have time. Could you stand for a group photograph before we let the minister, with the ministers, with all the ministers, Francesca, Dr. Kante, Dr. Nawal. Yeah, Nawal. Thank you, Her Excellency, for setting the stage. Also, I should thank old friends Dr. Yamakula and Dr. Nawal for setting the stage, which has made my job easier, and for Gurbus to give this presentation of what this whole Lives and Livelihoods is about. So with that, can I call the Minister of Environment of Energy and Climate for the country of Iceland, Mr. Guðlaugur Thordarson. Please, the floor is yours.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to address and participate in this important event today and lend Iceland's wholehearted support to the Empowering Lives and Livelihoods initiative. This joint effort by the UAE and IRENA is an important step to address the challenges of food security, health care and climate change. I would like to thank the UAE government and IRENA for shining light on this very complex issue. Iceland is a land of renewable energy, with 100% of electricity and heating provided by green renewable energy from hydropower and geothermal energy. Iceland has by now undertaken two energy transition. We decarbonized heating and electricity in the 20th century, and now we are facing the enormous task of decarbonizing mobility, including fishing fleet. We can imagine how important this sector is for a remote North Atlantic island like ours. Icelandic fisheries are very much fossil fuel based today, but we are getting ready to transition away from fossil fuels in this system that is so vital to our food security and prosperity. In the wake of Russia's brutal and illegal invasion of Ukraine, we have seen how fossil fuel-based supply chains are vulnerable to supply and price shocks. We have also seen how the Russian weaponization of food exports and fertilizers has caused huge increase in the prices of food in low and lower middle countries in Africa, Asia and Latin America. Therefore, it is imperative to bring low and carbon neutral energy solutions to agriculture around the world. This will improve resiliency, add value and enhance productivity in systems that are already under great stress from climate change. Iceland is a world leader in the utilization of geothermal energy, and this is something we are quite proud of. Not only do we heat our homes with geothermal resources, we use it extensively in agriculture, horticulture and sea farming, and of course our wonderful spas. Undoubtedly, geothermal energy will be one of the tools IRENA will be looking towards to implement this initiative, and Iceland would very much like to offer our help and assistance in that regard. Geothermal energy and food production go hand in hand, bringing value and resilience to communities around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, for that. I think one of the most important takeaways from what you said was countries like the Philippines, Indonesia, India are heavily dependent on fossil fuels in terms of fishing. Any innovation that happens in a country like Iceland could easily be replicated across, because that's an industry that has really no solutions right now. And I think we could take the leadership of Iceland to take it forward in many ways. Thank you, sir, for bringing that to place. The second, I would like to invite His Excellency Dominique Perrin, the Deputy Head of Cabinet of the country of Belgium. Thank you, sir. The floor is yours.
Dear Ministers, Excellency, Director General, colleagues, I would like to thank Her Excellency Maria Almeri and Francesco La Camera for this invitation on behalf of Minister Philippe Henry, who is still in Belgium and will arrive next Friday for the negotiation. I'm honored, of course, to share this important moment with you. This initiative charts the path towards a transition that could change people's lives, and that is what makes it particularly inspiring. It also reflects some of our major concerns and the projects that we modestly support. I would take this opportunity to remind our voluntary contribution, the contribution of Walloon region of Belgium, our voluntary contribution to IRENA and the unwavering support that the agency gives us by implementing projects in response to our concern. Over the course of the last 7 years, IRENA has implemented several projects in sub-Saharan Africa on decentralized and off-grid systems, planning, innovation, and energy health nexus, including the role of renewable for healthcare facilities. A case study has been led by IRENA in Burkina Faso to evaluate national conditions and resources to be able to deploy more renewables. Empowered with this knowledge, the agency identified the most suitable areas to deploy utility-scale solar PV and wind projects and support knowledge transfer and institutional capacity to be built among Burkina Faso stakeholders. This project was carried out in partnership with Celco Foundation. Work continue throughout this year basis of this model in 3 voluntary countries, Mali, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe. Finally, I'm happy and proud to add that IRENA will lead an assessment on renewable energy in climate change adaptation, which will contain a capacity building package on impact assessment of renewable energy in adaptations. For all of these reasons, I wish the best success to your initiative, which will contribute to making the transition just and equitable. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sir, for those comments, and thank you for blurring the lines between the North and the South. We should no longer have this debate of North and the South because the world is one, and whether the Belgium, IRENA, Burkina Faso work, and we all have to realize that we only have one house today. And now I can call upon a country which is facing one of the biggest challenges in terms of climate and islands. His Excellency, Mr. Arifin Tasrif, the Ministry of Energy, from the country of Indonesia.
Excellencies, Ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Francesco Camera, my friend from IRENA, and all colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity to take part in the launching of Empowering Lives and Livelihoods initiative. We applaud the government of United Arab Emirates and IRENA for the initiative that will transform the lives of individuals and communities, especially women, youth, and mostly impacted with the climate change. We acknowledge the importance of equal access to reliable and affordable energy, health, and food globally. These 3 sectors are driving force for economic development, ensuring social well-being and contributing the environmental sustainability. As the world is evolving towards clean energy future, one of the challenges that Indonesia facing as an archipelagic country is in providing sustainable energy access to all people, especially those who live in remote, frontier, and outermost areas. We have 270 million people population. We have more than 16,000 islands in the countries. So we have to provide enough food. Indonesian is a rice eater. Indonesian people is a rice eater. At least we have to produce 12 to million tons of rice every year. And besides that, we also need proteins. So how is the new renewable energy can support the sufficiency of this food? What we did right now, what we can do is, for instance, like the energy. We have the LNG. We convert our diesel power generator to gas. We can use the energy for refrigerating, so we can help the fishermen. So at the other side also we can use the source of hydro in the country, yeah, to optimize the use of the energy, and then to support how to increase the food production by using that. We need technology. We need to educate young people, local in situ people, in order to understand how important of this. So this is the things, and then we again really appreciate IRENA initiative to lift up this issue. So it opened the eyes of all of us, yeah, how we work together in order to combat the challenge of the livelihoods and the lives. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting on behalf of the other part of the world which has similar challenges, and we all would like to make sure that we all have our nasi gorengs also, which is right. So next, I would call a country which repeatedly faces the wrath of cyclones every year, and the livelihoods of the poor are taken back every year by a generation back, and which is for no fault of theirs. I can please call upon His Excellency Mr. Nasrul Ahmed, the State Minister for Power for the country of Bangladesh.
Honorable Chair of this session, Excellencies, Director General of IRENA, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm deeply honored to be here, and I extended my heartfelt thanks to the United Arab Emirates and Excellencies and International Renewable Energy Agencies for inviting me to say something over here. As a long-standing member of IRENA, Bangladesh aligns closely with its vision of scaling up renewable energy in harmony with the Sustainable Development Goals. We appreciate IRENA's continued support in shaping our renewable energy ecosystem. Our diverse landscapes, climates, and socio-economic conditions necessitate a tailored approach to climate action. Despite our low per capita emissions, Bangladesh is firmly committed to enhancing cooperation in climate change adaptation. Clean energy and low carbon pathways, our vulnerability to climate impacts include sea level rise, extreme weather events, calls for urgent and focused actions. Under our leadership, our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the government of Bangladesh has initiated, it's called Mojib Climate Prosperity Plan. This strategy, a first under the Climate Vulnerable Forum, aims to mobilize international financing for renewable energy and climate resilience projects. We are making strides in renewable energy, energy storage, grid modernizations, and skill development for sustainable future. In our journey towards a sustainable future, Bangladesh has set up an ambitious renewable energy target. Our Prime Minister envisions sourcing up to 40% of energy from renewable energy or clean energy by 2041, leading to significant policy shifts, including the cancellation of 10 coal power plants, that is investments about $10 billion, and the addition of 300 megawatt of solar capacity to our energy mix, actually. Currently, 37 renewable energy projects with a capacity of over 2,400 megawatt are under constructions, and approximately about 5,000 megawatt of additional projects are in the planning and approval stages. In the Sustainable and Renewable Development Authority, SHEDA, has been established to promote renewable energy and ensure energy security. Our focus extends beyond large-scale utility projects to smaller initiatives like rooftop solar, floating solar, and solar irrigation systems. Our roadmap to scale up solar irrigation pumps aims to install 45,000 systems by 2031, significantly reducing diesel usage and contributing to our environment goals. The critical global issue remains the unfulfilled pledge of developing nations to provide
$100 billion annually for climate actions in developing countries. This commitment is crucial for advancing our climate resilience and renewable energy efforts. And I urge COP28 to ensure accountability and transparency in this regard. In conclusion, the Empowering Lives and Livelihoods, Renewables for Climate Actions initiative is a vital step in our collective journey towards a sustainable future. I thank IRENA and the UAE government to their leadership to this endeavor and eagerly anticipate fruitful collaboration and outcomes for this initiative. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the leadership that the country of Bangladesh has always shown in terms of the different models of solar and every time from DRE, decentralized renewable energy, and now to the large systems. So now I call upon His Excellency Mr. Shakti Bahadur Basnet from the Ministry of Energy from Nepal, for a country that's known for tourism, but the climate change is creating havoc in terms of the floods that is happening. We only hear about it, but it always gets out of the news. Your chance, sir.
Thank you. Excellencies, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and namaste. First of all, on behalf of the people of Government of Nepal, I wish to congratulate the Government of United Arab Emirates and International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA, on the launching of the Empowering Lives and Livelihoods Renewables for Climate Action initiative, and express Nepal's commitment to collaborate with the initiative. I am pleased to learn that this initiative aims to connect people and livelihood through renewable energy solutions in agri, food, and health value chains, simultaneously driving equity benefits, especially for women and youth who are most impacted by climate change. I believe that this initiative holds immense significance, not only for our nation, but for the entire globe as we collectively strive towards a brighter, more resilient future. Distinguished delegates, the impacts of climate change are already being felt in many regions of the globe, and Nepal is no exception. As we grapple with the alarming retreat of glaciers, the devastating consequences of glacier outbursts, floods, erratic rainfalls, floods, landslides, and the disruption of irrigation systems, drinking water supplies, and energy infrastructures. In response to these challenges, Nepal has embarked on an ambitious journey towards a clean energy future, setting a bold target of achieving net zero emissions by 2045. At the heart of our strategy lies the utilization of our abundant renewable energy resources, with hydropower playing a pivotal role. Solar energy also presents a promising avenue for Nepal's energy transition. As the country enjoys ample sunshine, beyond hydropower and solar energy, Nepal is exploring other renewable energy options, including wind energy, bioenergy, waste to energy, and energy efficiency measures to diversify our energy mix to ensure a sustainable energy future. With an existing installed capacity of around 3,000 megawatt, Nepal is poised to harness the potential to meet our growing domestic energy demand and decarbonize the energy sector in the region by exporting clean energy, hence promoting regional energy security and sustainability. Nepal has recently updated energy roadmap and action plan with target to generate 28,000 megawatt by 2035. The Empowering Lives and Livelihoods Renewables for Climate Action initiative aligns seamlessly with Nepal's energy goals, providing a platform for collaboration, knowledge sharing, and resource mobilization. Essential elements for accelerating our transition towards a renewable energy future. These initiatives focus on empowering communities, resonates deeply with Nepal's vision for equitable development. This approach will also aligns with Nepal's commitment to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 7, which aims to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Distinguished delegates, recently Nepal faced the devastating impact of 6.4 magnitude earthquake in the Karnali province, affecting 7 districts, claiming 158 lives, injuring 366 people, and damaging more than 62,000 households, forcing the residents of those houses to live in temporary makeshift camps. Such natural disasters also underscore the urgency of sustainable and resilient development of the energy services through renewable energy solutions. I understand the IRENA is already partnering with APC and relevant Nepali organization through this initiative. I further reaffirm Nepal is committed for playing an active role in empowering lives and livelihoods renewable for climate actions initiative and request the government of UAE and IRENA to prioritize Nepal in this endeavor. Together, let us forge a path towards a future powered by renewable energy where communities are resilient, livelihoods are sustainable, and the planet thrives. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Can I call upon Honorable Mr. Abdoli Jobe, the Ministry of Petroleum from the country of Gambia. Thank you, sir. Your floor.
Thank you. I'm a bit taller than all the others. But thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Good afternoon, honorable ministers that are present here, the Director General of IRENA, Dr. Nawal, and my dear brother, ladies and gentlemen that are present here. I would like to thank IRENA and UAE for the invitation accorded to me to participate in this very important session, which is the launch of the Empowering of Lives and Livelihood initiative. I must admit that this initiative is very laudable and particularly beneficial to the Gambia and many other developing countries. We in the Gambia wholeheartedly support the initiative. In the Gambia, we have a very clear and strategic roadmap which has been outlined by the President, that is to achieve universal access to reliable and affordable electricity, in general energy by 2025, 5 years in advance of the deadline of 2030, which is set. And this is to increase the generation capacity from what we have, the fossil fuel, to low cost, import of and other possibilities, and also the systemic development of solar energy in the electricity generation mix. For us, people are at the center of the energy transition in the Gambia. Our goal is to decarbonize, and our plan is to generate 50% of the electricity that we produce from renewable by 2040. And a good percentage of this renewable energy will come from solar. We have the policies, legal, institutional, and regulatory frameworks in place. And currently in the Gambia, we have ongoing projects which are utility-scale power PV systems, 23 megawatts, which is funded by the World Bank. And we are developing a regional 150 megawatts PV utility-scale PV plant. 50 megawatts will be for in-country, and the 100 megawatts will be for export to within the West African power pool. And we're developing grid mini-grids, home solar systems, and also deploying improved cook stoves to solve and reduce deforestation. Currently, we have a very interesting project in the Gambia which aligns to this Lives and Livelihood initiative, and that is with the support of the EU. We have a project which is about 35 million euros, and we are solarizing 1,000 schools and 100 health facilities. And part of the institutional structure developed is the establishment of a special purpose vehicle company which will implement the project. And this project will provide different technologies for these facilities. Also, we're having certain support from the International Solar Alliance to deploy solar water systems. This is for food security and food self-sufficiency. In the Gambia, we have a slogan which is, eat what you grow and grow what you eat. And this is to ensure that we have food security and food self-sufficiency. We have seen also during the 13th session of the Assembly of the ISA, what the ISA is doing in other countries and deploying solar containerized cold stores, which is one of the technologies which has been presented here. And these are things that will really change lives, especially for women who are involved in women gardening and other entrepreneurial activities. Here in the Gambia, we welcome the IRENA and this initiative to the Gambia, and we would like to be the 15th country after our neighbor, which is Sierra Leone, so that you will help us to upscale the solar pumping systems that we are deploying in women gardens. Because once the women are empowered, they're able to transform our lives. And I think these things that you're doing are very, very important. The solar systems, as indicated, just imagine in the health system, as my brother said, you start with the light, it goes off, you have a touch light to finish and stitch off. We can transform that. We can make life better for our people and increase life and livelihood. I mean, the introduction of the solar systems is something that we would like IRENA and this initiative to support the Gambia. I mean, and we thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to participate in this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. You said 2025. That's really a tall order. No pun intended, but that's a tall order that we will do by 2025. Thank you, sir. And I'm sure the rest of the countries could take it and follow. Next, can I call Honorable Ms. Dorcas Dlamini, the Principal Secretary from the country of Eswatini. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Your Excellencies, Director General, International Renewable Energy Agency, distinguished delegates, good afternoon. The Kingdom of Eswatini is happy to be part of the gathering addressing the complex nexus issue of agriculture health value chain in the energy transition. Eswatini identifies this as an important element of our efforts towards access to adequate, reliable, affordable, sustainable energy by 2030, which is one of Eswatini's government's target development programs aimed to improve the livelihoods of the rural communities. This International Renewable Energy Agency initiative of bringing agriculture, food and health together is applauded, as it will create additional benefits for the lives and livelihoods of our people. As governments, while we recognize and take action towards providing access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all, it is also important that we focus our efforts towards translating this to empowering the lives and livelihoods of our people. The benefits can be practically realized through the establishment of small and medium-scale income-generating activities. In the programs to increase agriculture production, energy is pivotal to support activities throughout the value chain and increase output. Other benefits include improved health from the use of clean energy and clean water supply, using energy to pump water from boreholes. For instance, access to renewable energy can really be transforming for the livelihoods of our people. To further improve access to energy, Eswatini has started implementing off-grid solutions, such as solar home systems, and has developed micro and mini-grid frameworks that seek to enable partnership between the public and the private sector. The aim is to include the productive use of energy by the community to make distributed energy systems more sustainable and multiply their benefits for the communities. The nexus, therefore, could certainly almost lead to viable off-grid solutions. Eswatini has established a rural electrification access fund to fast-track access to electricity towards universal access by 2030, and also to incorporate off-grid solutions to the energy supply mix. We are currently at 82% national access to electricity. Excellency, distinguished guests, there is need for a properly coordinated approach on this Nexus initiative for both financiers and also government entities. It will also require proper coordination amongst institutions responsible for energy, health, and agriculture. I think it is time for the world and for our countries to stop working on silos. We do need to work together in order to achieve this mandate. Eswatini is therefore eagerly looking forward to the rollout of this initiative, whose success will depend on all of us. I thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So can I call upon the Honorable Minister from Ghana, Deputy Minister from Ghana, Mr. Andrew Kofi, please.
Excellencies, Ministers of State, I am pleased to be part of the launch of the initiative on empowering lives and livelihoods, renewables for climate action, especially at a time where our collective efforts are geared towards a just energy transition and partnerships to promote clean energy for sustainable development to save our planet from a looming climate catastrophe. This is particularly resonating to me because if you recall, during the COVID-19 pandemic, President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, put saving lives and livelihoods of Ghanaians at the center of his decisions, such that Ghana was able to reduce to a very minimum level the fatalities arising from the COVID pandemic. In that regard, any initiative that seeks to empower lives and livelihoods, to me, is most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, being a signatory to the Paris Agreement, we continue to demonstrate our commitment in diverse ways to address the adverse impacts of climate change and to increase access to energy for socio-economic development. As a matter of fact, we are showing leadership in the energy transition space by increasing the renewable energy stock in recent times and providing fiscal incentives for low-carbon technologies, deployment, and services. In line with our energy transition framework and energy transition investment plan, we are pursuing various policy initiatives to enable us reach universal access to electricity by 2024. With a current electrification access rate of 88.5% of the population, we are optimistic to achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goal 7 ahead of the 2030 target. Ladies and gentlemen, at the Maiden African Climate Summit in Nairobi, Kenya, we resolved to deploy at least 300 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030, up from the 56 gigawatts in 2022. Rising to this demanding target, Ghana has stepped up efforts to increase the uptake of renewable energy through policy incentive schemes and carbon financing. These have led to a flagship of projects, including an ongoing construction of a single 16.8 megawatts, 95,000 square kilometer roof-mounted solar PV plants by LMI in the Tema Free Zones area. This project, which is expected to be completed by the second quarter of 2024, will become the single largest roof-mounted solar PV project in Africa and the fourth largest in the world. The government is also supporting the same developer, LMI, to construct 150 megawatts ground-mounted solar plant to generate reliable, affordable, and sustainable clean electricity to feed the green tech industries on the newly created 2,000-acre Dawa Industrial Enclave in the Greater Accra region of Ghana. Excellencies, we have just completed and commissioned the largest floating solar park with a capacity of 5 megawatts at the Bui Power Enclave and secured funding from KFW to construct an additional 20 to 35 megawatts floating solar on the Volta Lake by our Volta River Authority. These and many upcoming renewable energy projects are ample testimony and demonstration of our leadership in the energy transition agenda in the ECOWAS sub-region. We need to establish smart and strategic partnerships to achieve the 300 gigawatts renewable energy ambition for the African continent by 2030. This is the reason why I requested to be part of the Accelerated Partnership for Renewables in Africa, APRA, to leverage the thematic areas of the APRA for rapid energy transition, securing energy access and security, sustainable livelihoods, and driving green industrialization in Ghana. I am convinced that the APRA will provide the catalytic effect to drive investments to achieve the 300 gigawatts renewable energy capacity by 2030, mitigate millions of tons of carbon dioxide equivalent of greenhouse gases, improve indoor and outdoor air quality, improve our competitiveness in the green products and services economy, as well as create decent job opportunities for our youth. The launch of this initiative on empowering lives and livelihoods must therefore benefit women and children who are the most affected when it comes to climate issues. The partnership must therefore lead to the creation of new opportunities and improved sector governance and inclusive development. In that regard, as my senior colleague from Gambia has indicated, his desire to be the 15th country where this initiative is rolled out, Ghana would follow and request that we be the 16th country for this initiative to be rolled out. As I conclude, let me take this opportunity to thank IRENA and all the partners who made this event possible, and I assure you of Ghana's commitment to contribute to the achievement of the objectives of this initiative. I thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Minister, for that. And I know, there are a lot of people who have other events, so I would request all my other colleagues to come in and put the points in a manner between 1 minute and a half so that we can finish in time. So can I call the representative from Holland, the SNV, Mr. Simon? Thanks, and please take the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Honourable Ministers, Dr. Nawal, Director General Francesco, we're delighted to be here. I promise you this is not my speech. This is the MOU that my organisation SNV has had the honour and the privilege of signing with IRENA. So we're delighted to be partners on this important new initiative. 4 points, Honourable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen. Why did we sign this MOU? Firstly, change the paradigm, as Francesco said. There's lots of complex discussions here at COP, but frankly, changing this paradigm doesn't have to be so complex. We need a new paradigm, step out of our silos, and collaborate differently. Secondly, better connect the local with the global. Contextualize solutions, that's what we need, so that the rhetoric matches the reality on the ground. Thirdly, establish partnerships that are greater than the sum of their parts. So, ladies and gentlemen, we don't need like-for-like partners, but we need the IRENAs and the SNVs and the governments and the RIAs from Nigeria and the private sector and, of course, ministerial bodies collaborating differently. And fourthly and finally, ladies and gentlemen, we need to mobilize finance, but we need to mobilize the right forms of finance. The big tranches, the large volumes of financing, but also those smaller financial sums so that they reach down into the context where they're most needed. So to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, honourable ministers, there's lots of discussion here at COP around the transition. But let's be clear, of course it needs to be just, equitable and inclusive. Because there is no transition, ladies and gentlemen, if it isn't just, equitable and inclusive, because that will leave tens of millions behind, and if tens of millions are left behind, there's no transition for any of us. No transition unless it's just, equitable and inclusive, and that's our big hope for this new alliance. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Simon, for that absolutely short but apt for what we all need for the world to go forward. So can I call upon Mr. Ahmed Salijo, the Managing Director of the REC, Rural Electrification Agency of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I would like to start by recognizing the presence of our parent ministry, the Federal Ministry of Power, who have accompanied us here today for this launch, represented by Engineer Abubakar Ali. Today, we want to speak very briefly of our own Nigerian experience. We're guided by the net zero ambitions to reach net zero by 2060 at the national level. At the Federal Ministry of Power, we have our own policy on national renewable energy and energy efficiency. That is to reach 30,000 megawatts by 2030. And our aim is to make 30% of that renewable energy sources, which includes solar, hydros, and other parts of renewable energy. However, as an agency, the Rural Electrification Agency is mandated to provide power to unserved and underserved Nigerians. And we happen to find the solar technology as a very convenient technology to provide clean, reliable, and safe energy for our rural dwellers. This is why this topic today resonates very well with us, empowering lives and livelihoods in renewable energy, because for us, all the work that we do is linked to the people. We were privileged yesterday to also attend an event on the launch of transiting remote communities through renewable energy. At the Rural Electrification Agency, we have had a chance to participate through private sector investments through providing grants and subsidies for private sector developers to bring electrification to our people in the country. Today, we've been able to provide a lot of, or achieve a lot. Through these initiatives, we have built over 100 mini-grids, we have deployed over 1.6 solar home systems, and we have also effected over 300,000 micro businesses. So this event today resonates very well with what we do at the Royal Electrification Agency, and we're looking to join our brothers in Gambia and Ghana to also now be the 18th country to join this particular movement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I call upon the partner from of IRENA, Honorable Mr. Tabune, the Commissioner of ICAS. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I'm very late because I have another meeting. Just to appreciate this initiative, just to thank IRENA for invitation. I'm Tabuna Honoré. I'm working for ECAS, Economic Community for Central Africa States, based in Libreville, in Gabon. We have 11 state members: Angola, Burundi, Cameroon, Congo, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Central African Republic, DRC, Rwanda, and Sao Tome and Chad. This initiative is very, very important for us, for rural population, and for private sector in Central Africa. Thank you for invitation.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, can I actually call upon the actual owner of this planet, the young, the representative of youth, Ms. Joyce Mendes. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Let me be very brief. I'm a UN advisor as well for the Secretary General, and we have been talking as well with Guterres these days, and most of the conversations has been around about energy. We know we need to keep the track towards 1.5. Actual scenarios are going to 2.5 to 2.9 Celsius degrees. And the energy sector, again, it plays an important role to increase the ambition. And we know we have been talking about it, right? Like to triple renewable energy by 2030, double energy efficiency as well, improvements by 2030, but also bring electricity to all. And I've been listening very attentive as well to this initiative. And I believe that agri-food systems are in the heart as well from mitigation and adaptation. And I also want to take advantage that I have as well, some of the ministers here in present, and two main pillars of the initiatives are gender equality and also jobs creation. And I think also as a young person, I believe these initiatives, they will be sustainable over time if you include youth, not just to be there, but also to train them, to take advantage as well of this green jobs transition. And you know, youth inclusion as well, not to be a checklist, but just to be there. Actually, we want to work with you. We want to contribute. I've been listening words about democratization, decentralization, and decarbonization of these organizations. And also, I would like to say that let's work together. Let's do it in an intergenerational way, intergenerational justice, but also cooperation. There is a lot, not just youth groups, but advisors, youth in energy sector, we are growing. And just to finalize, I'll say that I am working in electrification projects in the Amazon. So we're getting ready for you in 2 years when the COP goes to my country, to Brazil, to present you several community projects. We're working with mini-grids with youth, with electrification, and we have realized that agri-food systems are fundamental because we are proving now to governments like Bolivia that forest-based bioeconomy and solar communities promote forests. Standing forests are more valuable than deforested ones. So there is a lot of nexus in water, food, energy nexus that we need to explore. So maybe also to the ministers, I would like to invite you and to ask you a question to finalize. Is like, how do you plan to be a good ancestors with these initiatives? And I think this initiative is providing an excellent tool. Muito obrigada, muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joyce, for bringing that energy that we require, and you are the actual owners of this planet. Can I call upon the Director of Climate Justice of Open Society Foundation, Ms. Samida Dagnet, to speak? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Hi, distinguished colleague. The Open Society Foundation embarked 2 years ago in a journey to foster resilience pathways, and by investing in a range of initiatives and innovative tools to mobilize finance for disproportionately impacted climate vulnerable countries and communities. For us, supporting such critical efforts as this initiative is a matter of social and economic justice. And we are very glad that empowering lives and livelihood is one of them, and to be joined by many other partners to bring scale and speed. We are confident that our 1 million catalytic grant from philanthropy can really help transform the lives of countries initially targeted and the many more that joined today, but also to trigger further investment from donor countries, from other philanthropic countries, and the private sector. The intention from our 1 billion was to mobilize another 1 billion. 2 days ago, the Open Society Foundation, among other 13 philanthropic organizations, submitted a call for action on adaptation by committing collectively to set up strategic frameworks to assess progress in a robust manner, and collectively to commit for more investment in adaptation. And this initiative provides to do that with all the mitigation co-benefits. As one of the first movers, we are poised to share the lessons learned and to continue to learn in our journey. Thank you. We know that the combination of such initiative with more financial support and adaptability from countries will create opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. So now can I call upon Dr. Tarifa Al-Zabi, the Director General of International Center for Biosaline Agriculture. I know you've been working critically in the sector of technology, energy. Your floor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And I would like just to mention, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, thank you for this invitation. Energy is very much important, and it's very integral role in what we do. Food, water, nexus is very much important, so we cannot really deal with them separately. They have to be integrated. I represent a number of voices here, of which is the policymakers, and how important is this discussion and dialogues for us. For us at the International Center for Biosaline Agriculture, in fact, in our vision is life and livelihood, is exactly in the heart of our vision. So we are hand in hand with this initiative. And also the voice of the science, because it's very much important for us to move between the basic science and look at the applied science, and try to ensure that the development and deployment of all those technologies and the initiatives on the ground. And finally, I would like to conclude with the voices from the farmers and the fields is very much to adopt scalable and implemented solutions that will be the future. It's supposed to be very much sustainable and adding value to everything we do. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you, and we are committed to collaborate and ensure that partnership is at the heart and the core of what we do. Thank you, and have a lovely afternoon.
Hi, thanks so much, ma'am. Can I call upon a representation from the Caribbean, Mr. Rodinal Sumer, who has done tremendous work in the Caribbean area to look at finance, but I'm very interested to hear about you, how you're actually pushing the lives and livelihoods in a very critical zone of the world. Your floor.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank IRENA for the opportunity to have a Caribbean voice in this forum. And to respond to your call, Harish, let me just quickly say that the CARICOM Development Fund, we have a mandate to support regional integration in the Caribbean, which focuses on attending to the developmental needs of vulnerable and disadvantaged countries, regions, communities, and sectors. And in that regard, we are very pleased to be part of this initiative to launch the Empowering Lives and Livelihoods initiative for the region. Let me just say quickly, in all of the thematic areas in which we are involved, we have a major strategic focus on community empowerment, and that involves improving the quality of life and livelihoods in disadvantaged communities, especially for women and youth. And both dimensions of this program, therefore, are very relevant to the Caribbean. In the area of agriculture and food security, we think there's a need to promote and adopt many of the RE solutions for agri-food, to have customized technology solutions that improve productivity and reduce costs. And this definitely aligns with the need for us to invest in the development of agriculture as a sector that has been identified definitively as a disadvantaged sector. Also, the Caribbean is leading an initiative to reduce the food import bill for the region by 25% by 2025. So this is where the relevance resonates with us in terms of improving resilience and productivity in agri-food and health. Focusing on the health side, we also see great value in having the promotion and adoption of RE solutions for health with customized technology solutions that improve access to and the quality of health services. And the deficiencies in these health services were clearly brought to the fore by the COVID-19 pandemic, which exposed the quality health deficiencies in the primary healthcare sector in particular. These facilities are of very high cost of operation, and these present, therefore, opportunities for powering these facilities with renewable energy. There are just two cross-cutting areas I would like to touch on very quickly. Improving access to water. I'm happy that we are seeking to forge a nexus through this program with investment in adaptation in water, which will service both agriculture and health. This is critical. And another very important cross-cutting area is the continued need to invest in microgrids for to service remote communities, to provide social and economic development opportunities in these communities throughout the region. So finally, I'd like to say that I've heard our colleagues from the African continent put in a bid for rolling out this program throughout the continent. Let me say on behalf of the Caribbean that there's an urgent need also to do this in the Caribbean. And I would like to invite the UAE and IRENA to consider the CDF, CARICOM Development Fund, to be an active and partner to help with the rollout of this very valuable initiative throughout the Caribbean region. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, we've heard right from fisheries to the North-South cooperations, to the island nations, to the mountains. So finally, I would just request that part of the lives, as we said, is health. In partnership with IRENA and WHO and Selco Foundation, we have just across, we have an experiential maternal labor room where you can actually go and feel how a delivery happens without electricity and how electricity, it's an experience. It's a 3D just across. And I would invite everybody, one of you, to watch this. And thank you so much. And I hand over to Gurbus to close it. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Harish. I'm going to be very brief because we have already exceeded our time quite a bit. But first of all, let me thank to all governments, ministers, for being with us here and expressing support to this initiative. But also to a number of institutions. Some of them have been on stage today. From philanthropy, from financial institutions, from development partners who have already expressed their support, and we are very much looking forward to working with you intensively in the coming period. I think we have put a lot of efforts in designing the initiative, and we have a very solid foundation now to take it to the next level, and it is time for action now. Starting from tomorrow, what we are going to do is to act on what we have promised. And working with hand in hand with you, with the governments, but also with our partners, and how we can deliver, first design those solid projects, programs, country programs, and then how we can bring them to realization. So thank you very much for your expression support. We are very much looking forward to working with you on the ground to take our promise to action. Thank you very much.